I've been making a point to eat in the morning. Like I get up at 7 a.m. and it'll be frying something about 8:30, and that regulates my appetite throughout the day, so I don't eat a bunch of bullshit before the sun goes down again.
What do you eat? What do you fry?
2 eggs.
Okay.
Either I hard boil them or fry them. Half a bagel, even though the whole one is what I prefer.
Yeah.
And a whole avocado.
Oh, that's good.
And trust me, don't get it twisted. My appetite is in the toilet because of the menopause and the hormones. So when I get an appetite rush like this, that's been gone for about a couple of years now.
Do eggs go bad?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I probably throw the eggs out of my fridge.
Okay. Segue, not even one. Hey guys, this is Relatable with Jackie Fabulous. I am Jackie Fabulous, and I think my third guest, although the way I post, you're not going to know what this one is, but I should post it before we actually promote our careers. But comedian extraordinaire, I met him randomly at the Comedy Cellar in New York, right? I know of him. I remember when you got passed at the Comedy Cellar, our friend Amy Miller was so proud of you. I remember she showed so much pride about that.
I love Amy.
And then I watch your set, and I'm like, well, of course he's here. I get it. I don't know shit about this dude. I just know that he is cute. He has a powerful beard. Okay?
Thank you.
He's very funny. He's always touring. He's always on some nigga's podcast somewhere for some reason.
I've been on lots of
like
people.
He's like low-key connected, but he acts like he don't know nobody.
That's not true.
He's very humble. Okay. Yeah. All I want to do is make you laugh and go to sleep. He knows everybody. Everybody knows who he is. I don't know where he's from. I tried a Wikipedia. He ain't got one. His website don't have shit, but that he's a regular at the Cellar. So clearly he's the orphan who showed up somewhere and SD gave him stage time. Don't know him. I wish I could have a proper intro, but all I got is this nigga funny. Give it up for Akeem Woods.
Yay! That was such a fun intro. That was great.
We don't know nothing about him. Let's have him on the podcast.
I started comedy in 2010.
Okay.
In Orlando, Florida.
Okay, I remember. And every now and then you throw out a different state.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, which one is the one that matters? You'd be like, well, Atlanta. Then there was Florida. But then I was in New York. But then I'd be in L.A. I had a crib in L.A. But then I had a car.
Yeah.
I got rid of the crib in New York. I mean, that's why I'm like.
I did live in L.A.
narrow
for 4
it
years.
down.
I live with Preacher. I lived in L.A. for 4 years.
Preacher Lawson. What's up, Preach? Okay.
I've known Preacher forever. We used to live together in a one-bedroom apartment.
I know Preacher as fellow comic, beautiful black man, and a man who can pick me up with no problem.
Yeah.
He
Preacher.
He lifts me with no issue, and I'm like, dude, do you know the real number? And he's like, shut up and let me just do this. It was on stage at the Comedy and Magic Club. I don't know what happened, but I went out there and he picked me up, put me over his whatever, like in the newlywed pickup.
Yeah.
And I'm always concerned when I'm always worried about him throwing his back out.
Yeah.
I don't be worried about me falling. I'm like, dude, who are you trying to impress?
Preacher is the most extra person on the planet. And I like to say he is like that all the time.
You know what's funny? I wasn't sure I liked him when I first met him.
I hated him when I first met him.
Because he was touring with Keon Poley, right?
Yeah.
And I saw Preacher every now and then. And I remember texting Keon. I'm like, Keon, what's up with your dude? Like, he's a lot.
Yeah.
But then I was like, disclaimer. Not disclaimer, but he's also really, 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 really nice and sweet.
Yes, he is.
Talented and hardworking. So you can't hate him.
Yes.
And then I got to know him. I'm like, oh, he really is this is his personality.
That's just who he is.
Every now and then you meet someone who seems like they are just extra, and then you're like, no, he's not extra. He's him.
That's him. That's 100% him. When I first met him, funny enough, we both hated him. Now we're like best friends, but we both hated each other when we first met. Yeah. But we were young. I was like 20 when I met him, and he was like 19. Like, we were both really young guys.
I know.
And we just really didn't like each other.
I love how a lot of you guys who loved reminding all of us how young you were.
I know.
Or are. I hope that all of you know that you ain't that young no more.
I'm 34. I know.
Okay. Oh, you still a little under there.
I know. I'm still.
There are a lot of low-key between 37 and 43 dudes that don't really let us know they in that pocket now. They were in that pocket for a while, and they look at me like, Mom. Now I'm like, don't your knees hurt too now?
I got like 3 more years, and then it's
37, and you got to stop acting like a young buck.
Yeah. Well, I'm also gay, so maybe 4 more years. That gets you a little bit more
youth.
It
does?
Yeah. Gay people get to be youthful later because they came out late. So it depends on when they came out.
And they live life more authentically, I think, than people who aren't in the community. Because people who aren't, they still hiding whatever they're hiding. You guys are like, hiding is done.
Yeah. I was hiding for 25 years. We out now.
So you live where were you born?
I was born in Brooklyn.
You born in Brooklyn? See how confusing this is?
Yeah. Well, in your defense, my life is not regular.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn. I grew up in Florida. I was in foster care for a bit. I was adopted.
Okay.
A bunch of other stuff happened.
Foster care in Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I don't know.
Do you remember it?
Not vividly, but I remember. I'm sure if I sat down with a therapist, they would draw it out, and I'd cry, and it'd be sad. But I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So I blocked out just enough to live a functional life.
Okay, now how long do you want to block? You will have to.
I think eventually.
You ain't got a whole lot of eventuallys left. Talking about age.
When I'm rich, we'll unpack it and stuff.
That is not the healthy.
So that's the goal.
You a typical black dude. You just want to avoid.
Until I have money, and then I can sit down and really be like, "Yo,
that's ridiculous. You
let's
don't
deep dive into this sadness."
No, but you're assuming.
I don't want to be sad and broke.
We should all assume that the riches and the wealth are coming, but you don't wait to live life or fix life until the money comes. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm doing. So whenever Akeem gets his first big check, you're like, "Ooh, Akeem's gonna go to therapy." I'm gonna sit down.
What
with
are your goals?
Viola
Where
Davis.
the money gonna come from? What are you trying to accomplish?
Comedy.
What does that mean? Funny, ha ha. What do you exactly want to do?
I'm working on. I want to sell a sitcom, so I'm working on writing one. I'll tell you the premise off camera.
Okay.
And I'm trying to just tour a lot. I'm trying to build my social media following.
Yes.
I'm trying to. I'm starting a podcast as well with somebody. I'll tell
right.
you about that off air as well.
Nice.
And I'm just like, all the stuff: touring, social media following, writing, all that jazz.
Have you ever had a regular job in a regular place with no entertainment attached?
I've never had a regular adult job.
So where were you, a child labor?
No. But so an adult job to me is like an office type space.
Okay.
All of my jobs are like Burger King, server, shoe store,
which are actually more real life experience, harder experience than I imagine in a cush office job.
Probably, yeah. My hardest job, I've had like 12 jobs, but my hardest job, like hardest working job, was Burger King. Oh my God.
Really?
You have to work so much, and you getting $7.25. Still to this day, the minimum, I think it's still $7.25 in certain cities.
Really?
Yeah.
I tried to get a job at KFC back in the day, and they were not fucking with me.
I worked there when I was 19. I got my first job when I was 18.
Where?
17.
At Burger King.
At Burger King.
Okay.
Girl, I worked there for too long.
How long were you there for?
I was there for almost 8 years. I was
damn
near.
You ain't got no goals.
I was damn near the Burger King.
I mean, first of all, I take that back. Any job that requires serving the community is hard as fuck. I did it. My first job ever was at a place called Jackie's Cookies.
Oh.
And it was in Times Square, when Times Square was a lot going inside the big terminal.
Yeah.
And they had more shops there and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was making cookies that had my name attached to it. Then they had another location in the same 42nd whatever area. Yeah. And it was so hard because you can't goof off, you can't bullshit.
So much work.
There's no room to hide.
And people treat
you. I ate everything we
Oh,
had.
girl, I ate everything because I was so poor. All I ate was Burger King.
Yeah.
I remember when I finally quit Burger King, I didn't have Burger King for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, of course.
But it's such a hard job, and also the thing that makes it so hard is like everyone treats you like shit.
Really?
Like the staff treats you like the people in the
above you.
Yeah. Like the company treats you like shit because they're paying you $7.25.
Yeah.
But then the customers, for the most part, they treat you like shit because they're like, oh, you're a Burger King employee. Like, they look down on you, and they're just really, really, not all the customers, but a lot of them were really mean. I'm like, yo, or yelling at you. I'm like, bitch, you paid $2 for you paid $1 for a burger.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. What are you talking about?
That's like I heard a woman one time in the gas station, and she was talking about the lettuce on the burger wasn't fresh.
Yeah.
I almost yelled out, bitch, we in a gas station.
Gas station.
You lucky the food don't got a rat sitting on top of it.
If you want a fresh fucking burger, go to fucking Ruby Tuesdays or something at least.
Or the grocery store and fry your own meat up.
Nigga, we're at Burger King. I'm getting paid $7.25. The burger costs $1.25. Clearly, we're both making mistakes.
I never know how Burger King stays open. There's no shade because I ain't never seen a full one. I ain't never seen a line.
Well, that's the thing. The thing that sucks about working at Burger King, my friend, one of my best friends, Lala, who's still my best friend, she worked at McDonald's across the street. And the thing about it is the McDonald's across the street was always busy, but they worked less because they were overstaffed for the busyness.
Employees back there.
So each person had to do just one job. Like I remember when I found out that all Lala had to do was take orders. That's it. Meanwhile, girl, I remember one time I was taking an order while making it. Like, I was in the back on the headset, taking the order, memorize it, making the order, walking around, bag it. We doing everything, and every now and then we get just as busy as that McDonald's.
Yeah.
But that McDonald's has 10 people. We got 3.
Yeah.
So we run around with our heads chopped off, making sandwiches. So we're doing so much work, and we both get $7.25.
Managerial aspirations when you were there? Because I imagine when you're there for a minute, if you have any kind of ambition, no matter what the job is.
My ambition was always comedy. I had no ambition. I remember to this day, my manager, Tony, hated him. And he came up to me after I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, now that you graduated high school, are you ready to dedicate your life to Burger King? Nigga, what?
Well, who said this to you again?
Tony, the manager at Burger King. I'm like, you just asked me as a 19-year-old, you want dedicate my life to girl? What? No. Are you crazy?
But there are people who work these jobs who they realize it's how you get your house and take care of your kids.
He offered me manager, girl.
How much more they make?
$9.
I was about to say, they don't even crack the doubles.
$9 an hour to be a manager at Burger, and you have to open the store, close it. You have to count registers. You have to do math. You have to drop off deposits.
Yeah.
You gotta
dangerous ass
job.
You
have to have the keys. So you have to open the store. You have to close the store, bitch. For $2? Not
even a hot $10 an hour.
I told them no, thank you. You keep me at my little $7.25.
So okay, what about the job did you like? Because you were there for a minute. Yeah. Besides needing to have a job.
The free food, because I would steal food like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I was good at it.
Did they care that you stole food? They didn't give it.
They didn't care. No. I was good at the job, and at the time it was fun because
the Whopper's bomb.
The Whopper's fire. Yeah.
The Whopper's delicious.
The Whopper's fire.
Yeah.
And at the time I was young. I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So I was able to do comedy because I was working the breakfast shift there, and at the time I was doing other jobs too. Like I quit. At one point, I didn't work at Burger King for like a month, but I was still technically employed there, but I was doing other things.
Yeah.
I came back, they're like, who's that guy? I'm like, oh, I'm just one of the regulars. Like, I could just pick up shifts whenever I wanted. And then it just got to the point where I was never there, and I got a different job. I was a server.
Yeah.
And I was making good money as a server and blah, blah, blah. So then I eventually finally, like, quit Burger
King.
But I was always
What made you quit?
Different.
What made you leave?
Well, I was making enough money as a server, and it just got to the point where I was never, ever there.
Oh,
so,
you see, as a server, you could make money in tips.
Yeah. And it was a breakfast cafe. It was called First Watch.
So you didn't be there all day.
Yeah. So the First Watch was my last job.
What state was this in?
Oh, Florida.
In Florida, okay.
So that was 7 years ago. Was my last day job. Wow. So that was that First Watch. And
you have a date, like the date you left?
I don't have the date that I left.
Yeah.
But I know it was 7 years ago.
So no office jobs?
Never. I worked at one call center for like a week.
Okay.
And they let me go. Yeah, I was not good.
Anytime I had a job like that, call center, telemarketing, sales over the phone, I never lasted. I was at one place in LA where they were trying to help people with their credit.
Yeah.
And you know how you know it's a scam?
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, all I'm going to do is deny when the feds come busting down the door.
Girl, I sold vacuum cleaners.
Door to door?
Kirby vacuum cleaners?
Yes.
Remember those 27? It was.
They didn't do that door to door when you were young like that.
Yes,
they stopped doing that.
They did. I was in my early 20s. They did door-to-door vacuum clean salesman. When I tell you it was a Craigslist scam.
Okay.
So on the Craigslist, it said you had to interview for a position, and they said guaranteed $500 a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bitch,
hell yeah.
What? So I interviewed. I got the job because it's a scam. Everyone got the job. And the thing was, you had to show 20 people this vacuum cleaner. You had to do a demo. And then if you showed 20 people in a week and you didn't make a sale, you would get the $500. But it's damn near impossible to show 20 people. Because 20 random people aren't going to let some random nigga in their house to vacuum. That's not going to happen. And, Jackie, do you know how much those vacuum cleaners cost?
They were high.
They were like $2,000. And we in the hood. Ain't no one in the hood gonna have money to buy a $2,000 vacuum cleaner.
That you had to empty the bag old school.
Yeah.
Not even like a one that I have now.
It was such a fucking scam. I worked there for like almost a month. Girl, I made $300 because I sold one vacuum cleaner, and that was the commission.
God, I had so many sales jobs like that.
Yeah.
But whenever I had a job like that and I stayed for a minute because of the people and the atmosphere, it was fun.
Yeah.
Because you weren't really, the company was probably, the whole thing was a sham.
I will say though, leaving my day job wasn't hard because I never had what I view as an adult job.
Yeah.
So when people are like, "How do you quit your job?" I'm like, "Girl, I was a server." It wasn't like I quit. It wasn't like I didn't put down a 401k. It was like I'm leaving this behind. I'm like, I can always
But I had
serve.
a friend in LA, and they were servers. Some still are, and they make a good living at it because they.
No, you can definitely make good money.
Put your personality into it.
I was a terrible server, but you could definitely make.
Why
good
were
money.
You terrible at it?
I was forgetting people's orders. I was dropping food. I was late to tables. But people just I was really fun, so people.
They call it personality hire. They call it that now.
So my manager wouldn't fire me, but when I tell you I was bad, like I was on my phone, I was a terrible employee.
Yeah.
Shout out to Danny. There's no reason for him to not have fired me. If he would have fired me, I couldn't even been mad at him. Like, oh yeah, definitely let me go.
Every job I had when I had the grown-up jobs in your mind, the office jobs, but I spent the entire time on the computer in the office working on my career. I remember my first time around, I built my website and got help to build it also at work.
Yeah.
And when they tried to fire me, they wanted me to quit. My last job, Caltech in Pasadena, the last job I had, 2010. And they were like, and when I got that job.
Oh, that's where I started comedy.
Really?
Yeah, 2010.
Nice. When I got that job was exactly when I started to book stuff in the acting world that required travel.
Yeah.
And I got the job, of course, I booked something right after I got the job.
Yeah.
There was a remote job. You could bring your laptop around. But long story short, they called me in the conference room and been like, we know you don't want to be here. And I'm like, y'all are very observant. And they were like, well, why don't you just resign and pursue your career? And I'm like, I'm not an idiot. You don't get no unemployment if you quit.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, y'all know where I would be if you want to handle this grown-ups.
Yeah.
So then the day came where the HR summoned me and the boss put me in the conference room. And they had the manila package, which is the packet to get out of here.
Yeah.
And as I went to my office to clear up my stuff to go, I sent out a company-wide email with my website on it and shows that they can come to.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, now that I'm gone, let's get to the real business and come do a show.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it. I've been trying to get people to come to my shows when they don't want to and they shouldn't even know that I'm a comic. But I've been a comic now 18 years. But how long have you been a comic?
14 to 2010.
But here's the thing: even though I've been a comic 18 years, I've not been a pro making money at it for the whole 18.
No,
people kill me. They're like, I've been Jackie. I'm 30. I'm like, well, how long of that have you been doing?
I've been
full
time for 7 years.
I've been full time since 2010. Prior to that, and that's how long ago was that? 14 years
ago,
yeah. And unemployment made it easier for me.
Yeah.
If you had to, if God forbid you had to have a plan B now.
Oh, girl. OnlyFans.
Oh.
Listen, I'm gonna perform one way or another. I don't have any other skills.
I tried to put my feet on the thing to get money, and nobody hit me.
Yeah, you got nice feet.
Like a beautiful toes, and nobody cared.
It's all about marketing.
I about to say I'm not doing. I'm not caring about lighting.
Yeah, there's some creepy toe niggas out there. You can get some.
I'm just watching Hulu and just click and like, bitch, you need the setup. I'm like.
I don't know. I just can't I can't imagine having to do anything else. Like having to clock in, because I haven't clocked in so long.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having to do that.
I thought of an idea for a TV show, and y'all can take it. I ain't gonna do it. Where people who ain't been in a real job in forever, comedians primarily, and they hire us back.
Yeah.
For whatever, how long the TV show will let us do for a segment or a episode, and they watch us in this new job, not caring though. We're not going back to work and becoming professional people.
Yeah.
We're doing it as we are now. Yeah. And see how would that be like, and if we could do it.
That would be funny.
I have I wanted to. You're helping me not quit because the podcast thing, I'm not gonna lie, is difficult.
Oh, I know. That's why I haven't started one.
And
I've been talking about starting one forever.
You do a good job at doing a fucking podcast tour. You should call it a tour.
Yeah, I've done so many.
I click on a random thing on Instagram because my algorithm is gonna give me all black podcasts and hip hop podcasts, LGBT, all the other letters podcasts, and he be on all of them.
I did lip service. I did horrible decisions.
Give me DJ Khaled. Why are you back there?
Nicole Byers. I just did hers.
Why do you think podcasts are so popular? Because my primary reason for not doing one and taking it seriously, I did one during the pandemic, the lockdown.
Yeah.
The same one now, Relatable with Jackie Fabulous.
Yeah.
And I was doing it from my bedroom. Laptop was there, bed was here.
Yeah.
And I would do it and go back to sleep. or do it and go fuck my now husband.
Yeah, I think it's our version of what talk radio used to be. I think people they like who they like, so they're fans of us, of comedians and actors and actresses and writers and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But they never really get to learn more about them because they only see them in the roles or they only see them on stage.
Yeah.
So I think the podcast gives them an insight of who they are as an actual person, because before you'd see Chris Rock as a stand-up, be like, oh, cool, he's really funny.
Yeah.
But you don't know anything really about him besides what he tells you in his jokes.
Yeah.
So then if he goes and does a podcast or he's a guest on someone's podcast, you feel like, oh, shit, now I can actually know more about him as a person rather than just this stand-up comic.
My insecurity is that why do people want to know about me?
Because people are nosy, girl.
That's really it. I mean, and I want to, because clearly this job requires that you not think that way. But but to get the gumption to make sure I stick with it, I'm like, why do you want to know where I got my hair done? You're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
But people just want to know about you.
Because people, honestly though, I think it's because people, and this is as sad as it sounds, people like feeling like they have a friend.
Yeah.
And I think that's how they feel.
And I think I'm boring. That's not because I'm making fun of them. I'm like, why? I don't want nothing.
But I think that's how it feels. Because sometimes when I super fans, I have people who see me and they buy my shirts and they come up and they hug me. It's like, oh my, to them, I'm like the little gay best buddy.
Yeah.
And they might not have that in fucking Ohio.
Yeah.
I hate Ohio so much.
I don't get. We gotta talk about the Ohio hate. Or they buy tickets to be in the front row at the show.
Yeah.
And then I'll get there and I can tell after saying hello for a minute. I'm like, you motherfuckers wanted to be up here, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I'm still like, why? Why? And then you want to be up here and talk to me. This is not the time for us to chit chat.
Yeah.
But people really want to know about you. And I remember when podcasts began. I just don't listen to them the way I should when I do, I'm like, God, this was good.
Yeah, I only listen to ones of people that I want to listen to. Like if they have a guest, I'm like, oh, I want to listen to. Or if it's a friend's podcast.
What makes what's her name? Oh my God, the beautiful one that used to be with Charlemagne.
Oh, Angela Yee.
Angela Yee. What do you think makes her pop and shine?
Angela Yee.
Because I just found out about her through Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And then I got deep dive,
She's
into her life.
I was at her.
And I'm very impressed.
I was at her house for
inspired by her.
Thanksgiving.
You were?
Yeah,
Aww.
she invited me over for a second Thanksgiving.
What y'all eat, if you don't mind?
She catered the whole thing. It was amazing.
I thought you were going to be like, she got down.
No, she catered.
With her card, she got down.
She got swiped.
There you go.
It was amazing. It was so
Where'd it come from? Where'd she get the food from?
I don't know where she got it. She got it from 2 different catering companies.
And you didn't ask her?
I didn't, because I can't afford it. So
No, stop thinking that way. You can if you need to. We all can if we have to.
Yeah.
What y'all eat? What'd you eat?
Oh, she loves Jamaican food.
Okay.
So she's always at a Jamaican restaurant.
I feel like if you would have cut me open now, I would just bleed oxtail. Like I've eaten too much of it. It's why I'm never going to be skinny, because I can't turn away.
You guys would get along fabulous.
Really? What's her background?
She is black and Asian.
Asian? Yeah, I figured that.
Her dad is Asian and her mom's black.
Okay, what is her sauce? Like, give me your opinion on what makes her so good at
I think she's really good at. She's very good at interviewing.
Yeah.
Like she definitely does her research and asks the questions that are very thought-provoking and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But also she has a voice. She has a voice for radio. Like she started her career in radio forever ago.
Yeah.
But she just has a voice and an energy and an upbeat personality for radio and interviewing and stuff like that. She kind of has like a sultry, fun voice.
Yeah.
And I think she's just able to interview people and get them to feel like she's very good at making people feel comfortable.
Okay.
And I think if you feel comfortable, you'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of her biggest attributes is like she's really good at making people feel comfortable.
Now, how do you not compare, but like, okay, now what makes Angie Martinez, in your opinion, pop?
See, that's the thing. I don't know enough about Angie Martinez to have an opinion about it.
You ever watch her interview people?
No, I haven't. I know she is, and I met her once, and she was like the nicest person ever. But I've never I don't know her in depth. Like, I'm actually friends with Angela, so I can say how I feel about Angela because I'm actually friends with her. But I don't know Angie as much or as well to be like, her thing is this.
What other podcasts do you like, whether or not you've been on it before, that you enjoy being there?
What other
male host this time around?
Male host. Most of the podcasts I've been on have been women.
Really? No guy host?
No, Godfrey's podcast is great, but I've known Godfrey forever as well.
Yeah.
I just did his podcast last night.
Not podcast related, but I want to.
Ooh, you know whose podcast I liked listening to back in the day, who I've never met, who I think I'd love to be on. Mark Maron.
Oh, hell yeah.
WTF or whatever.
Yeah.
I've heard some really, really good interviews on that podcast.
Yeah, people open up.
Yeah, I think he would be a fun guy to like sit down and chat with.
I've performed with him a few times in LA.
Have you done his podcast?
No. And I imagine you got to have something you really want to promote.
Yeah,
I think to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Not just gonna be
It does help if you're promoting something.
Yeah, not that
like
everything deserves promotion, but when you're on that level of a podcast, I have a special coming out. Like something like that you want to promote or a book.
Yeah.
Why do you hate Ohio so much?
It's just a city full of sadness. Or state full of sadness.
Really?
I just never. And no shade to people in Ohio. I'm gonna be in.
There are so many comedians.
I know.
From Ohio.
I'm gonna be in Cincinnati next.
Kim Whitley,
2 weeks.
Arsenio Hall. A lot of people from Cleveland, Ohio. Ohio and or Cleveland, whatever.
People.
Really? Yeah.
But I still hate the city.
When Kevin Hart had his show to help discover comics in different cities.
Heart of the City.
Yeah. And he did it in Ohio, and I remember Kim Whitley was a guest on there, and comics were asking her advice, and I remember she said, "Get out of here." She said, she was like, and she didn't mean like if you don't have talent, leave, but if you feel like you have a talent or you have an ambition to make your talent grow more, you gotta get out of.
You have to
your
leave.
Small town.
Well, you have to leave your small.
Where did you do stand up first? Was it all in
Orlando?
Really?
It was September 12th.
I began in September too. Yeah.
At Austin's Coffee. It was a coffee shop.
Nice. Where it should be when you're starting off.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
It was a coffee shop, and the coffee shop is still open, and they still do open mics there.
Yeah.
It's the longest open mic in Florida.
Yeah.
And it went terribly.
Well, it's open mic.
Yeah, I bombed really bad.
There's no bombing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The founder of the Comedy Cellar, Billy Grunfest, he gave me this advice. He lives in Los Angeles, and he was like, podcasts are meant to find who you are and find your voice.
Yeah.
Not find the funny.
Yeah.
And people, when I've been to millions of podcasts now still, and people worried about
You mean open mics?
Open mics, yeah. There's no bombing at an open mic.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Nobody expects anything at an open mic.
And it's free. No one paid to be here.
Exactly.
Everyone here drinking coffee, living their dreams.
And this is venue's problem if they can't get comics and regular folks to be in the audience. It's your job to figure out that dream you had about cats last night.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that was it. September 2010, Austin's Coffee. The place is still open.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do people hate Beyonce the way they hate her?
Who hates Beyonce?
Listen, there's a video out now. It's on like the Jasmine brand where she was on Good Morning America with her kids, with Suri and Blue.
Blue Ivy, yeah.
And Blue is celebrating her voiceover on the Lion King movie.
Yeah.
And all three of them were there, and it was Beyonce really boasting and gloating and being really proud of Blue Ivy being grown. When I look at the comments, so mean. And I thought we loved Beyonce.
People like to hate. People like to hate, and people also like they have.
All she's done is make good music so you can shake your ass to it. Why they hate her?
And she's always.
And she made me a nice shampoo. I used it last night, but I have used it.
She's been very pro-black and very helpful to.
Is it jealousy?
I think it's definitely jealousy. I think people just get really, really. I think they want to like take her down a notch or whatever, and then I think people also get mad because like they see her daughter is getting all this like movies and success. It's like, that's what you're supposed to do.
The first thing they said too, they take off those wigs.
Yeah.
Neither one of them had on a wig.
Yeah.
By the way, Beyonce's showing us her hair, but they don't like the fact that she got a long head of hair.
People like to be miserable, but also people who hate, they comment more. That's what people don't realize. It's like, I'm getting all this hate comments. It's like, no, because the people who love you just typically don't comment as much.
Yes.
People who
don't have
hate,
a reason to be on you like, I hate you or I love you every second.
Yeah.
But if they hate you.
If they hate you,
they're going to make sure that comes through.
They're in that basement typing their little letters.
That's true. When people really do love you, they don't be in you often.
Yeah.
They just pop in every now and then. Hey, girl, you still doing it?
Funny, blah, blah, blah.
But when they hate you daily, they're like, you still here trying to do this.
Comment. And what they don't even realize is that they're helping the out. Like, I had this dude comment on one of my posts when I did Lip Service. I did Angela Yee's podcast.
Yes.
And I told like some sex story. And I got a whole bunch of homophobic comments, which was wild because I'm like, the thumbnail is me in a rainbow jacket. You knew I was gay.
You knew.
Why did you click?
Oh, because they hate search.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm going to get in this one.
Why did you click? You knew I was gay from the rainbow jacket. but they click. And then they click and they comment. And then I even said this to this dude, and he ended up blocking me. I'm like, you realize that you commented on this tells the algorithm that the algorithm doesn't know a negative comment or a positive comment. No. It just knows you commented.
Yeah.
So the
Activity,
fact that exactly
engagement,
you commented on something gay, now the algorithm is gonna show you more gay stuff.
You know what's funny is that on IG, I get not gay. Well, you get it when you look, but I don't. Yeah. I make sure that I don't like it because then my feed will be full of it.
Exactly.
Hot men.
Yeah. My feed is full of hot men.
See, but you want that.
Exactly.
And I remember, I'm like, Jackie, if you like them, next thing you know, it's gonna be all hard dicks in small underwear.
Exactly.
And your husband like, this is what you
huh?
Yeah. And mind you, he don't really care, but he does care.
Exactly.
And I'm like, if I look over his shoulder and nothing but female ass, I'll be like, nigga, stop liking that shit because they're gonna give you nothing but female ass.
So that's why I'm like, dude, you commented on this now, but the same people who always comment on women's page, women are funny, blah blah blah. I'm like, you realize that you're helping them because one, you're boosting their engagement, so now they're getting more likes and more views.
Yeah.
But two, now the algorithm is like, oh, you keep commenting on women and doing comedy. Here's a bunch of other women doing comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like you keep on seeing. If you don't want to see women do comedy because you're misogynistic, then don't interact.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you see a bunch of bros talking about bitches and shit.
Are you dating anybody right now?
No.
What? All of a sudden you got demure. You're just like, nah, fuck these guys.
I have a boo in Denver, but we're not like. He lives in Denver. I live in New York. So like we see each other when we see each other, but we're not like he's a doctor.
Why'd you follow with a sinister laugh? And good job. So you're just hanging out.
Yeah, we've been talking for like.
How you not getting attached if he's a doctor? Months. Because on top of him, I'm sure he's cute.
He's hot as hell, but I'm just not gonna move to Denver.
Really? What if you don't have to work anymore if you do move to Denver?
I like working.
You okay?
I like my job. And he's like,
I've never been the woman to be like, but maybe you're going to have to work so much if you hang out with them. But the older I get, I'm like, don't you want to find somebody so you can take some breaks?
But also, he's not moving. I mean, we've known each other for a while now, almost a year now. We've been chatting back and forth, and we hook up when we see each other.
I was about to say, is there any interaction or just chit-chat?
No, I mean, I spent like 7 days with him in the beginning of November because I just got off a gay cruise. Gig, and then I went to San Francisco for like a one-nighter, and then I went to Denver and spent a week with him, and then I went to Kansas City.
Okay.
But
where do you meet guys? Tell me if you agree before. Ponder that and think about and help me with this one. I saw a clip earlier, Janelle James.
I love her.
We love her. Ava on Abbott Elementary, but a wonderful comic. We knew her before that.
Yes.
And she was on Drew Barrymore's show and giving advice about where to meet guys. Yeah. And I agreed with her.
What was her advice?
She said Target.
Okay.
And then Drew was like, ooh, tell me more. And she's like, Target after 6. And I'm listening to her and I'm like, agree. Yeah. Because I used to be in LA, actor, comedian. Am I busy? Of course not.
Yeah.
During the day.
Yeah.
And I had a gym that I went to, although there could be a lot of actors who don't work at all in these gyms too. But if you get filter through all that, there's also dudes.
Yeah.
Target, she's like, Target after 6 because the gym dudes, the ones who are dedicated and go regularly, they're always in Target or the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's right. I'm in either Target or a market.
Yeah.
Because as soon as these hot guys, and I'm being really shallow, the ones that the hot ones, they be in the grocery store after the gym.
Yeah.
Because hot guys, their minds are like this.
They meal prep.
I have to work out, meal prep. As I work out, I'm starving.
Yeah.
They're so hungry when they finish working out.
Yeah.
They go buy groceries, and then they're ready to mingle, make love, hit up on a woman. But that's their schedule. Yeah. And this is most guys. Yeah. I don't care what y'all say. It's most men, gay and straight. The ones who are gym dudes.
No, you're right. Yeah, gays be at the gym.
And they have a repetitive schedule. And they maintain that throughout the year.
Yeah.
The same. Do you agree?
I agree. I met this dude on Grindr, but I agree.
It don't matter. You met him, but his routine you've seen is that,
right?
Yeah.
He's a big runner dude.
Yes.
So he loves to go. That's why he loves Denver because he loves to go
running clubs are big now.
He's in a running club. He's very white.
Honey, let me tell you something. My fat ass, if I was single, I would be up in these running clubs in all the Lululemon XL. Talking about what's up? Barely able to breathe.
He's adorable. But yeah, that's how we met. And then he came to one of my shows, and then we hung out, and then we just kept talking, and then we've been talking for a while.
But you agree, though, if a guy is in amazing shape, not that you are not, you're beautiful and hot,
too. Thank you. My abs are pending.
Yeah. They're loading.
They'll be here.
But when you get men who have the bodies that, that you lust for, they're in the gym all the time.
100%. Yeah, he goes to the gym every morning. I just texted him this morning.
And if they're not in the gym, they've worked out that day. We have a gym, but my husband works out in his gym in the house.
Yeah.
And his schedule is the same.
Yeah.
The gym for an hour or two, sometimes more. I don't know what they be doing.
Were you born here? You were born here, right?
In the Bronx, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as he's done, all he cares about is food. If you can find guys that you can get to know and understand their schedule, picking them up is not hard.
Yeah.
Just know how they run. They ain't thinking about women or men or sex because they have in their head, I got to do this, I got to do that, then I can get my dick hard.
Yep.
That's all men. I don't care what y'all say.
That's
anyway.
True.
I have a question about friendships. We gotta go soon. Ooh, this goes by quick. I'm working on my friendships. Part of this podcast goal is for me to make friends again, or maintain or get to know people, because I have a tendency, still have the issue now, where when I get a boyfriend and or a husband or a man, I disappear.
Yeah.
And when I had my first boyfriend for like 10 years, my girlfriends disappeared, and they knew it. And now I have that pattern. I'm trying to break the pattern.
Yeah.
But here's what's happened to me in the past that's had me wondering whether I've never thought about this before until the drive here, and it just crossed my mind. But let me know what you think. If you have a friend, if you like somebody,
mm-hmm.
and your friend knows you like them, and your friend still fucks them, fucks with them or fucks them, period. Does that damage the friendship? Now, mind you ain't got this person. You are not dating them. You ain't never dated. They don't even know you like them. Or they might know, but they don't care. You have a crush. Hard crush.
Wait, they know you have a crush or they don't know you have
a crush?
They
know. I've had a couple of girlfriends in my lifetime know about the crush, but they still had interaction with the guy. One friendship ended. And now at this point in my life, I'm kind of wondering, did it have to end? Like, was I being a hater / jealous?
I think it's like...
Because she knew I was, like, crazy about him. And they were boning, like, behind my back.
I think it's fucked up.
I'm like, why you didn't just
Because there's
just tell me.
There's so many people out there to fuck. If I was friends with someone, like a dude or whatever, I had a gay friend or whatever. I have gay friends, but like just hypothetically I had a friend, and I knew he was into another dude.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to fuck that dude.
Yeah.
There's so many other dudes. Especially for straight people, there's even more, because there's more straight people.
Yeah.
So, like, there's so
many.
There? Yeah.
Okay.
Of course there are.
How do you know? You've done the census?
I haven't, but it's... I did do the census in 2020.
And there's so many closeted?
I mean,
that number's got to be a surprise.
There was a lot of closeted.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. Whenever I talk about it, people are like, no, it's not. I'm like, you're not on the apps. I'm on the apps.
Let me tell you what happened, and I feel like I had a closet. I might have had several, but I don't know. But there was one back in the chat room days where at a certain time at night, he would send out a message to what he told me they were like softball buddies.
Oh.
But he'd be like, I'm going to be at the so-and-so park. Like, kind of put like an APB out on whoever to come meet.
Yeah.
To this day, and this, mind you, this was pre-2010. This was early 2000s before I was a comic or I was new at it.
Yeah.
Living in Orange County. He was, I don't want to, because he still watches me on my Facebook fan page. But I wondered if that was like his gay bat signal.
Oh, it could be. Cruising, it was definitely...
Yes, and I didn't have a word for it then.
Cruising was huge back then because there was no Grindr, there was Craigslist was kind of still, people hooking up on Craigslist.
Yeah.
But there was no like gay site.
Yeah.
So cruising like that was very, very big.
Because it was really odd for me for a hetero to be like, hey, I'm going to be so-and-so. And he was dating someone.
Yeah.
So it was also another weird thing. Why are you putting out a signal for anybody to come hit you up?
Yeah, that sounds suspect.
Yeah, even though the sex was so good.
Yeah.
And not that it wouldn't be because he's gay.
He could be bi.
But he could be bi.
Yeah.
I knew he's my one and only true ghosting person. He ghosted me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was over, but I knew back in hindsight why it was over. We went to go see the Book of Eli.
Okay.
And that night, he bucked the life out of me.
Yeah.
Not as good as I get now, but for that age and that time, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And never heard from him again after that.
He was putting in his resignation. Yeah.
So to this day, I'm like, yo, whenever I get it hard like that, I'm like, in the back of my head, you about to leave.
Yeah. I'm never going to see this nigga again.
And so I'm like, he's my one and only ghostings, but the sex was never a question where he wasn't aroused by me.
Yeah.
So that's when I get confused about the men who say but the ones that we think were closeted.
You
can't always tell. You can't always be like, well, Was he aroused? Yeah, he loved the shit out of
There
it.
are bi
Dick
men
got
out
hard,
there.
no problem.
Yeah,
you know?
like there are so many there's so many non-straight dudes on all these apps.
Have you ever dated a bi guy?
I've hooked up with them. I've never dated anybody.
You've never had a boyfriend?
No.
We are about to leave this podcast. We've been here for an hour. Why the hell did we open up with that? Okay, but I'm saying it like I need to be a therapist. You might be happy. Do you want a boyfriend?
I'm not opposed to one, but I'm not like...
You don't... Okay, never... You never wanted to have one?
I didn't come out till I was 25.
Okay, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how like slavery. Let it go.
Yeah, let it
go. That was a long time ago.
Not 10 years ago, 9 years ago, but yeah.
Okay. And so you've been figuring out your life all this time. And now that you are...
But now you
live where you want to live. You have the job you want to have.
I do.
So now you're like, you're open to more
now. I'm not opposed to it, but it's harder to find one because I'm not in gay spaces really because I do comedy.
What are gay spaces?
Like where gay niggas hang out.
Okay.
Because I do comedy full time. You know, comedy is a very straight man.
That's true.
Universe.
And as I do stand up more, I'm like noticing when I go to the clubs to work, I'm like, there really only be a sprinkle.
Yeah.
It'd be like they'd be a Mateo.
Yeah,
They'd be a Zimmerman. But it don't be
there's
many.
not a lot of gays, and there's not a lot of women either. It's mostly dudes.
There'd be a Pat Brown, but the ones who are out, like, you just know what their life is like.
It's just mostly dudes. So most of my friends.
That's true. That shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be, but most of my friends are dudes, so I'm not really in the gay community to like meet people like that. Mm-hmm. And then also, it's hard to meet it's hard to get a boyfriend when you're touring all the time. Like, I'll be gone. Sometimes I'll be gone for a whole month, or I'll be gone for 2 weeks, or I'll be gone. And normally, if someone has a boyfriend, they want someone who's going to be at the house. Or who's going to be around.
Yeah.
So
I can tell my husband.
I just haven't found someone who's like... You might
have to be like, I mean, I've known male comic headliners and they have like families in other cities and states. Yeah. And they got a wife here. And I'm not judging because that's not what we're about anymore. But I'm just saying, not anymore, ever. Yeah. But you know, if it works for you and you both adults.
Yeah. I think I'll find someone eventually, but I'm not like.
But if you're not looking, then don't be on any mic saying you're looking. You ain't looking. Have a good time.
Love will find me.
Are you having fun safely?
I am. I had fun last night. I hooked up with this.
I said safely.
Yes.
Why do you?
I'm on the pills.
Are you on the pills? Oh my God! I don't even. You know what? The pills I am new to knowing about.
Yeah.
I had to see a commercial, but like they got pills.
Yeah, girl. Everyone got pills.
Really?
Yeah. There's two. So there's actually a shot now. So
y'all have come up,
girl. We out here
with answers.
So you take a shot every 2 months, and it prevents you from contracting HIV. And then you take these 2 blue pills. It's called DoxyPep, which, by the way, more straight people should know about this pill because because STDs aren't a gay disease.
No, they are not.
So if you have sex, I told my straight homie about it. I told Eagle about it. I'll say his name. I told Eagle about it, and Eagle was like, "Nigga, what?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You got to be gay to get those pills." I'm like, "No." So the way
what do you have to be gay to get? Nothing.
Yeah, the way DoxyPep works. This is an ad for DoxyPep. After you have unprotected sex with a man or a woman, or a trans person or whatever,
a human.
Yeah. You take these 2 blue pills. Make sure you take them with food because they will fuck your stomach up.
Yeah.
You take these 2 blue pills, and it decreases your chance of getting an STD by, I think, 70%.
Damn. And I say humans, but I've seen porn with animals, but that's another show.
Yeah. So that's 70%.
Yeah.
So I took that last night. So you have sex, unprotected or whatever, and then you make sure you eat.
That's probably a good thing I don't know about these days.
Yeah. And then you take these 2 pills, and I rarely ever, and I get tested. Which everyone should do this, but I get tested every 2 months. Sometimes early because I'm a hoe.
Thank you for.
But yeah, I get tested. I get tested every 2 months.
One of my many HIV tests, but the first one I remember, the results came in a certified letter to my house.
Oh damn!
And that certified letter stayed on my dining room table for like 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
Because I was scared to open it. Now did I have a reason to believe? I guess I did, and I didn't open it. And when I finally did, it all negative. Yeah. But I also called the doctor like, "Why you sent a letter? Nigga, I'd have come down there. You'd have hung up the phone and you'd have heard ding dong. I'd have been right there." God, I hate condoms. I hated buying them.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. No matter what, you could be married and have 4 kids on the line with you at Duane Reade or Walgreens. Buying condoms is embarrassing.
I think it's more embarrassing for women.
Really? Oh yeah, because they're like, ooh,
yeah, because I think when men buy condoms, it's like, you getting pussy? Because even they just assume you're getting pussy, whether gay or straight. Like, you're getting pussy.
I've never had a man buy condoms knowing we're about to hook up and do it without looking ridiculous. I remember one guy, we pulled up to a 7-Eleven. You pull up, you could watch him go in. He came out with a gigantic brown paper bag full of condoms. And I'm like, dude, this is one evening.
Yeah, how much sex do you think we have?
Or he bought them for the week for other women.
He's like, bitch, you think this is just for you?
No, we think a lot of ourselves.
Yeah. I'm just getting this done with so I don't have to come back here for this. I got 7 women lined up for this.
The only time I've been on Tinder, I was in Chicago, and I got on it just to see if I could meet anyone.
Yeah.
Phone almost caught on fire.
Yeah.
Just all the hits. But they were hitting me like, I want to marry you. They're like, well, where are you right now? I'll see you right now. I'm like, everybody relax.
Did you meet anybody?
No, I didn't want them because they were too eager. And it was a turnoff.
Yeah.
They're like, where you at now? I'll come see you now.
Because Tinder is
hookup app, right?
For straight people, yes. For gay people, it's our dating app.
Oh.
Because Grindr is so aggressive.
I would have given them some, but not this afternoon.
Grindr is so aggressive for like sex
that
Tinder is like, ooh, we have to match? Oh.
I saw your post about you having romantic sex.
I know. I got so many DMs.
And you were like, why y'all didn't tell me that liking a nigga feel good?
It was the Denver dude. Yeah.
See, because that's your boyfriend.
Yeah, it's not.
Was it a video or was it in words?
I posted it on Instagram.
When I saw it, I went like this in my head. Aha!
Yeah.
Got you.
I got text.
I don't know why.
I think me and Angela were texting.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, romance.
See?
Yeah. Everyone was like DMing me.
Everybody knows you. They were like, aha! Got you. Like it was like some sort of booby trap.
Akeem's not a hoe anymore. What happened?
So
we were baking cookies together. We call Ida. You know Ida Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ida.
Shout out to Ida.
I love Ida.
I've been calling her Ada since the day I met her, and she lets me. So thank you.
She's one of my favorite people. But I called her. Me and him were shirtless in the
I was just about to say, topless is how you bake after you fuck.
We were baking,
in the kitchen.
And we were baking.
Titties too.
We were baking. It was a dessert, but it was like a Hispanic dessert. And
Flan?
No. It was conchos.
Okay.
And we were confused on something.
Is he Latino?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were confused on something, and we called her, and we're just both shirtless baking, and she's just busting out laughing. She's like, "What is happening?" I'm like, "We're baking," and she gave us like some feedback on how to make, and they turned out delicious.
When you start baking, you know that's love, right?
Shut up.
Baking is love, because you can go buy cookies anywhere. Were you making these shits? That's because you in love.
It was cute.
Oh.
It was really cute.
Oh, Lord.
I hope he doesn't listen to this.
I'm going to do some detective work. I'm going to find him and send him every episode. What time is it? It was so smooth the way you were wonderful to talk to.
It's been really fun.
Everybody I've picked so far has been fantastic.
Who was the other guest?
You know what? Everyone thus far has been a member of the LGBTQIA plus community.
Wait, who was last guest?
Alex English.
Oh, I love Alex.
I know. We all love him. And prior to Alex was first one, Jay Jordan.
Oh, just all gay black dudes? Is this the gay black dude podcast, Jackie?
This is how much I miss niggas.
I just want to let you know you're running out, because that's it. There's not a lot of gay black comedians. It's me, Jay, and Alex. So I think you might be able to find one more.
I'm glad it wasn't on purpose, but you guys said yes. And you said yes immediately.
Of course.
The straights be all around the place. They'd be like, girl, I love you, but can I holler at you after the new year?
I'm glad your first 3 guests are gay black comedians, because literally there's only us 3 that do it like professionally.
It wasn't even on purpose. It's like, and I guess, okay, probably on purpose. I'm going to my phone like, who's going to say yes to me?
Yeah.
And you 3.
Yeah.
I haven't asked Mateo because I'm partially nervous because he's always working.
I think Mateo would definitely
he would, because he loves me too.
Yeah.
But he's busy.
Yeah.
Busier than us right now.
We're just not busy.
I'm just saying. But a podcast ain't about busy. It's about making the time and the schedule
Mateo would 100%.
to do
Mateo's
the
one
podcast.
of the me and Mateo aren't like super close, but he's one of the sweetest people ever. He's
love-
always so nice. Whenever we do talk, he's like the nicest person on the planet.
I don't know whether Mateo's a Christian or not, but I see God when I look at him.
He's
a good person.
Like this. You know what's so crazy? I wanted to hate him before I met him.
Yeah.
Because he's really hot.
Oh, the more talents I find out he has,
and he sings,
the more I'm like, Mateo.
And he's funny.
He can sing.
Yeah.
He stand up.
He can
draw. He knows 11 languages.
He can cook.
He's hot. I mean,
I wanted to hate him so much. And then when I first met him, he couldn't have been nicer.
I know.
I'm like, oh, and he's nice.
I know.
Wow.
He's one of those you're like you have a lot of
I thought God
check.
didn't give her both hands. What the fuck happened to that?
He's like, let me speak English and French and Spanish and Italian, probably some German. I've heard him drop some Swedish. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of those touch
What
dudes.
a
lot
nice
of talents.
person.
Okay, now where are you gonna be at next?
With you.
I know. Hopefully I post this. Wouldn't that be good? I should post them before. We're going to be at the Hartford Funny Bone December 13th and 14th. My opener here will be Akeem Woods.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a good time. 4 shows or 5? I don't know.
4, I think.
4. I love
Friday,
4.
2 Saturday, yeah.
I love that.
Because then you go to St. Louis on Sunday.
I go to St. Louis at the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri on December 15th. 1 show in and out. I'm not even going to get a hotel.
Yeah?
Because I got to get my own hotel. I'm like, my flight at 6 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah.
People hate to hear that. I'll go to the airport and sleep until my flight got late. Is that wrong?
No, I've done that
I
before.
feel like it's so ghetto.
You know what's crazy about that? I went on a cave tour there.
Yeah. A what tour?
I went because I did that room before.
Okay.
They're supposed to bring me back to headline, waiting, and tag them in this. But I did. They give you like a free cave tour.
Of what? You said you. I thought you said cave.
Cave.
Of what? What cave?
They have like a cave there, girl.
I don't want to see it. What's in it?
I did it, and it was a very white tour.
Okay.
And because I was trying to branch out, I'm trying to branch out, do white people things.
Yeah.
So I did get the cave tour. I'm the only black person on the tour. When I tell you the tour was fun, it was exciting.
Yeah.
But the cave tour guide went into autopilot, and at one point of the cave tour, he was like, "This is a really prestigious part of the cave. A lot of meetings used to happen here." He's like, during Prohibition, people would meet here to drink.
Oh no.
He was like, a lot of great things happen here. He's like, the Klan used to meet here. And I turned around and I'm like, nigga, is this a meeting? Like, why would you say that? And then
it was a legit meeting.
Yeah.
And they had it there.
And then he looked at me and he realized that I was black. And then he was like, but eventually the Klan stopped meeting because they got bored. I'm like, oh.
They got bored.
That's how racism ended? Was boredom?
Well, you're just there on an off night. The meeting's going to be tomorrow night.
I'm like, I didn't know boredom was how the race. I thought like Martin Luther King had something to do with it, but I guess boredom.
It's like, this railroad is boring.
Yeah, it was just like,
snooze.
And it was crazy. And I know it was autopilot because my homeboy Dante did the tour prior.
They'll expect you to be there. That's why they were like.
But Dante's like a big black dude, like 6 foot tall,
yeah,
200 pounds black dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did they tell you about the Klan? He's like, nah, they skipped that part.
They used to have meetings here.
Yeah.
Next one's scheduled for tomorrow night.
Yeah. It was just like, but anyway, that's what I remember about the city.
Okay. How do we find you on social medias?
All of you should find me on Akeem Woods, AKEEM Woods is on my Instagram. Go to AkeemWoods.com for all my tour dates. I'm also doing this thing where I'm booking house shows. So if you want
saw
me,
that too, and I'm like, all I do is see here should be like this.
I need to book. I need to be busy.
What do you mean by how? Be careful.
Listen, if you pay, I will come. So if you want me to go to your house show, click on the link in my bio on my Instagram, and you can book me to perform at your goofy little house.
It was funny is that I'm making fun of you and laughing, but if you got the dough, I'll do your house too.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. Maybe not like Friday night. Ain't nothing on Netflix. Come make us laugh.
Yeah.
But like a party.
That's what they're all. They're parties. It's not like just a one-off.
But
I mean, if you got the money
clarify.
and if you want me to just perform for you, if the check clears, I'm there.
You're like, do you ever get? Have you ever been propositioned to go back to a couple's wherever after shows when you've been traveling?
Once, and I did it.
You did do it.
Yeah, it was 2 dudes. So we was.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah.
If I do it, I'm gonna end up in the news the next day.
No. So we were in Alameda Comedy Club. I was headlining there.
Yeah.
And there's this guy up front, and it was flirting back and forth. And I'm like, "Oh, you gay?" He's like, "I'm bi." I'm like, "Ooh, how bi we talking?" And we laughed. And then afterwards, we had a threesome in this hot tub. So pretty bi.
feel like you guys have way much more fun than the heteros.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I have fun with a one-on-one, but, it's a part of me is
but
like...
But you're a married woman.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah. It's wonderful, but I also wasn't always married, and I haven't had much fun. Anyway, that'll be the next episode. All right, guys, go to JackieFabulous.com and my YouTube and get from there. But Relatable with Jackie Fabulous. And I gave you the schedule already. Yeah. And thanks for watching, listening. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever I tell you to like and subscribe. And that's it. Holla at your girl.
Bye. Tune in next week. Will be Sam J.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's on the list.
Is she?
am I coming out every episode?
Everything is
Stay
dead.
tuned, and we'll see.